Welcome to Ridgewood Talks. Through this podcast, we will be introducing you to some of the leaders and legends in our village. We'll keep you updated about fascinating local events. We'll dig into the town's hot topics and so much more. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Jeannie Johnson, the founder of Ridgewood Talks and Ridgewood Walks. The goal of these initiatives is to create a kinder, more connected, and more vibrant community. I'm thrilled to be hosting this podcast with my good friend and all-around wonderful guy, Jordan Kaufman. We look forward to meeting with you weekly and hearing your thoughts on who and what you'd like to learn about in our beautiful hometown. For now, be kind, do good, and enjoy this episode. Here we go.
Hey, Jeannie, how you doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm good. I'm really good. I'm taking horseback riding lessons and I'm having the time of my life. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm not horseback riding, but I'm getting ready for the spring weather. We've got spring sports coming up. So for a lot of people in Ridgewood, that means it's lax season. And we've also, I think we're all getting ready to maybe have a breakfast and a lunch out on the sidewalks of downtown Ridgewood because it's starting to get there. We're starting to see those 60-degree days pop in and it feels nice to get outside and enjoy the fresh air after a rainy winter.
Good.
Yeah, well, we're excited for today's guest. I think one of the nice things about finding organizations in the town and having them come in is how we find kind of related interests between some of the other guests that we talk to. And one of the things that really excites me about today's guest is their focus on scholarships for students. And that's one of the things that they share in common with our sponsor, Ridgewood AM Rotary. People always ask, what does Ridgewood AM Rotary do? And it's kind of a long list of things, but one of the core principles and core values that they have is providing scholarships to local students who apply for their grant programs. That is a key component of any Rotary organization, whether you be in this country or others. And I just think that's really cool that we're able to bring on another group that can come and talk about that. Should we introduce our guest?
Definitely go for it.
All right, let's do it. Our guests today are board members of the Ridgewood Arts Foundation. They are here to tell us all the exciting things coming up on the Ridgewood Arts Foundation's calendar of events. For those unfamiliar with the Ridgewood Arts Foundation, it is a 501c3 charity organization founded about a decade ago with a mission of celebrating and funding the arts in and around Ridgewood. Everything the organization does is designed to promote the arts while encouraging donations to enable the foundation to advance its work. Their funding is provided through donations from individuals, grants from corporations and foundations, fundraising activities, and their membership program. The Ridgewood Arts Foundation makes modest gifts to worthy applicants through its grant program, and many artists and organizations have benefited from their generosity. Let's talk about the roster. With us today is Lorraine Haskins, who is in charge of fundraising and social media. We have returning guest Kristen Plumley, who oversees grants and scholarships, and Christopher Sargente, who is also in charge of fundraising. Each are longtime residents of the village and are artists in their own right. Lorraine is an avid photographer and writer. Kristen, who was on our show in December, is an accomplished opera singer and prolific Ridgewood volunteer. And Chris, who showed off his acting, singing, and dancing skills on the Jamboree stage, is also an attorney. It's safe to say that each is excited to fulfill Ridgewood Art Foundation's mission to help artists explore and expand their talents by providing grants and scholarships and celebrating the talented artists in our fine community. Whew! How'd I do, Jeannie?
You did a great job, Jordan. Congratulations. And I saw that Chris was really excited about his intro, about his dancing and singing and acting skills on the Jamboree stage.
We're here to air it all on Ridgewood Talks. We're airing. Thanks so much for being part of our show, guys. Thanks for coming today. Let's just jump right in. Let's kick it off with some questions.
We're happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
We're so happy you're here.
We're actually all Jamboree alum.
Including me. Jordan, you're the baby of the bunch. You're the only non-Jamboree person.
It's in your future.
I haven't earned my Jamboree stripes yet.
Not yet, but we can't wait. We'll all be there to support you when you get on the stage. So guys, really and truly, thank you so much for being here. And I want to start the discussion today about the formation of the Ridgewood Arts Foundation. Chris, why don't you take this one? Let us know how this 501c3 came to life and why.
Well, originally there was and still is the Ridgewood Arts Council, and they do some similar things to what the Ridgewood Arts Foundation does, except a big distinction Foundation is that they were unable to raise funds and provide scholarships, which was central to the interest of some members of that committee. So a subset of that committee, I believe it was Albert Pucciarelli, Linda Bradley, and Roger Downs, who then branched off to found the Ridgewood Arts Foundation that allows us to raise funds and provide scholarships to students in and around Ridgewood. And that was a key part of the founding mission and remains to this day, where our fundraisers, which is the one that's now coming up on April 5th, the honors event is part of that mission to generate awareness and raise funds to support local artists, whether it's visual or, musicians, potters. I mean, the gamut of artists in the community have benefited from our support. And, just to mention that some of the things we do is also to organize art events in and around Ridgewood. So those are museum tours, visiting art centers, where we also have private showings, some events were the Barrymore Film Center in Fort Lee. I don't know how many people know about it. I didn't. And it's just a wonderful place, relatively new on the scene. We recently went to the Montclair Art Museum. We went to the Passaic County Art Center, places that maybe a lot of the residents of Ridgewood aren't familiar with, but if you become involved in the Ridgewood Arts Foundation, even just by going to our website and providing your email, we'll get you in the loop so you understand and are aware of all things art in Ridgewood.
Well, what you guys are doing is just incredible. I want to hear more about it. First of all, Kristen, why don't you tell us about the showcase and tell us what performers we got to see?
Well, yes, we have the Ridgewood Arts Foundation Honors Showcase coming up on Friday, April 5th. It will be at the Unitarian Society of Ridgewood on Cottage Place, 7:30 to 9:30, and the public is most graciously invited. First of all, there will be visual art that has been created by our past scholarship and grant recipients, and we will also have performing artists, and those people will be Patricia Lazara, flutist, Anya Skulski, violinist, Quinn Montague, tenor, Marcus Rian, trumpet, David Langan, bass, myself, soprano, and we will be accompanied by Ron Levy, pianist, who will also play a solo piece. All of these people, with the exception of David Langan, everyone has received a scholarship from the Ridgewood Arts Foundation to further some sort of project. For instance, Patricia, the flutist, is part of a group called the Ensemble Bella Luce. It is a small group. It's flute, piano, and soprano who travel to Italy every year. They work with an Italian composer. And right now he is creating a piece specifically for this group on a specific subject. And their grant was to help offset the cost of getting to and from Italy and to working with the composer. Anya Skulski has received a scholarship to help offset the cost of applying for competitions for violin. She is planning on studying violin in college at a conservatory, and the list goes on. I have received a scholarship through the Ridgewood Friends of Music, and our mission, as I explained the last time I was on this show, is to support the music programs in our public schools, K through 12. So yes, so we have a great group of both student and adult performers. The performing part of this showcase will be a little bit different than you might normally be a part of, because it's going to be a little more in the round and interactive. So what that means is we're going to have a small stage that will move to the center of the room, and the performers will be on the stage. The audience is welcome to walk all around the stage. Some of us may end up in and among our audience, the guests who are there, so that you can just witness what it is to create music close up, and just see what it's like to see the bow on the string, like right in front of you. See what it's like to be right in front of a soprano with all that resonance, and hopefully no spit involved, but you can edit that out.
I'm not editing
So
This is why we love you, Kristen.
quite in, all in and among and around you, and which is very exciting and not something that you normally get.
Well, all I can say is that it sounds super exciting. I wish that I could be there to attend, and I hope that people go ahead and get to your ridgewoodartsfoundation.org website to buy their tickets. Because I think that's a really unusual way to put on a performance. And I think, like you said, it really helps the audience feel like they're an interactive part of it. And plus, the Unitarian Society, for those of you who are listening who don't know this, it is a terrific venue. It's super intimate. There's just something about that space that just makes you want to, oh, I don't know. I just get goosebumps thinking about all the concerts that you have set up over there. What is it called? Your cafes, Kristen?
Society Cafe Concert Series.
They're really terrific. So
Thank
this
you.
sounds like it's just taking it to another level. And I'm so pleased that all the proceeds will benefit the Ridgewood Arts Foundation. How much are the tickets for this event?
I was just going to note that, Jeannie, thanks for asking. It's $60 for an adult and $30 for a student. And I might add that that includes quite a bit, not only the wonderful performances that you'll experience, but some nice bites. We have stuffed pepperdew with goat cheese. We have mini artichoke cups, stuffed mushrooms with risotto. So some really good stuff, and an open bar. And so really, when you think about it, for the cost of 2 drinks at a couple of local establishments, you can have all of this wonderful experience in an intimate setting, wonderful musicians and good food and good company.
Oh, it sounds like a really great night. So everybody, go get your tickets, go eat, drink, and be merry, and then listen to those listeners. It sounds like a really great night to go eat, drink, and be merry and listen to some incredible performers. And Lorraine, I know that there's going to be some visual artists there too. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So we have a variety of visual artists, past honorees, who will be showcasing their work. And there are going to be some younger ones, like our high school students, college, as well as adult artists. And we're going to create the gallery, long one, half the room, I would say, to kind of immerse everyone in the creative and performing arts as being our mission with the Ridgewood Arts Foundation. So we're excited to showcase the talent. And what I've been doing recently in terms of our social media is highlighting certain artists, certainly our performing artists, as well as some of our visual artists. So I'll mention one, Susu Studios is one of our grantees, and she does alcohol ink art. It's really lovely, ethereal. And she is actually highlighted on our flyer. If anyone goes to our website, they will see all the information about the showcase. So we're happy to share her art. And if you all go on our social media pages, you can learn more about the artist herself. Speaking to what Kristen said in terms of our performers, we also highlighted pretty much all of our performers, and we're still in the process of doing that, to let people know who they are before they come into our space and learn more about what they do. And that's a critical component of what we're doing with the foundation. We want to support the arts, fund them, but celebrate them. And that's the point of this whole showcase, truly.
Wow, that's amazing. You know what I like I said before, what I love the most about this is that people can actually come and hear and see your scholarship and grant recipients' work, which is fantastic. I want to dive into that a little bit also. But first, Lorraine, I want to just compliment you because your work on the Ridgewood Arts Foundation social media pages is really incredible. And I love that you take a deep dive and you really get to know these artists and community members. I think for those of you who are listening, please make sure that you like and comment and share on the Ridgewood Arts Foundation social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram, because Lorraine, you really do a great job. So thank you for that. I think it's
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're great.
You know, it's been my pleasure to speak to the artists, and the returning thing that emerges is that they're feeling seen, and then we get to also understand what our scholarships mean to them. And there's a practical level. Sometimes it's simply that they were able to replace the case that they transport their instrument from here to there, so it doesn't get banged up. Or it could mean that this was the first recognition they received for their artistry, and that just supported them and sent them off on a new direction. So there's a practical, less a practical, but more spiritual kind of benefit to this. And that is emerging every time I talk to people. And it's especially wonderful when I hear it from the younger ones, because we can really impact their lives in a very positive way, letting them feel validated and recognized, supported tremendously. One of our artists, actually an adult artist, she knows as a visual artist, you're very solitary. and you're focused on your work. And it's a lonely kind of existence, but to feel that your community knows what you're doing and supports you is so important, and it was so fulfilling to her. And it just, she draws on it. I'm so pleased to be a part of that, and I'm glad that I'm able to be a voice for them on some level.
You do a great job. And like you said, there's nothing more important than being validated, elevated, and appreciated. So I think the other thing that you're accomplishing with your work on social media is not only are you helping these artists get some visibility, you're also helping the community understand the importance of the arts. It's critically important to who we are. Like you mentioned before about the spiritual piece of it. I mean, there really is something about that. And so I love that your writing conveys that, and it helps us understand better why we should be supporting the Ridgewood Arts Foundation. So thank you very much for that. I want to go back to the scholarships and grants. What's the criteria to apply for one of those?
So anyone middle school age or above, that means adults are included, is eligible. All you have to do is go to our website, ridgewoodartsfoundation.org, and click on grants and scholarships and fill out an application. This is for anyone who is in visual, performing, or applied arts. And you just need to have a project or something in mind how the money would help you. As Lorraine said, it could be something as like I need a new case for my instrument. My old case is falling apart. It's not able to protect my very expensive instrument anymore. Or I'm applying for this competition and it's quite expensive, so I could use some help with that. Or our school just recently was a victim of a flood, and over the summer, the instruments that are kept in our storage room were badly damaged, and we need to help our student population. You know, we need to start getting more instruments for the students because they were destroyed. All of these things have happened, and these have been grant recipients. Yeah, just really anything that you need to help further your art. It's really very open-ended on purpose. And we do accept applications from Ridgewood residents and people further afield. So we have given scholarships to people in Fairlawn, Patterson, all around. So it's just this general area. And the next scholarship deadline is May 1st. That's coming up. So yeah, if you're interested, please go check out our website. And all that you need to do is fill out the application, one page, very simple, and send in an example of your art. Send it electronically. So whether that be, examples of your visual art, video of you performing or singing. Yeah, it's really quite a simple process.
And I also want to jump in there and say that the Ridgewood Historical Society and Schoolhouse Museum was a recipient of one of your grants a couple of years ago. And we applied that money toward one of our exhibits, and it was very, very much appreciated. So I love that you are trying to reach out to people all across, whether they are individual performers or organizations. And so that takes me into your fundraising, Chris. I want you to help us understand a little bit more about what you do with that. You mentioned the events that you have going to such unique venues like the Barrymore Theater and the Montclair Art Museum. I know you do salons too. Can you help us understand a little bit more about what those are and how we can get involved?
The salons were something that really was the focus of our events, primarily during the pandemic. And some of that was basically having a European tour of major art venues or institutions, and it was all done remotely. And now we've seemed to transition more to local art galleries and centers where we can all get together and we have a curated tour of that place. Kristen, Lorraine, if we're talking about specifically about salons, does anything in recent memory come to mind?
Sure. This is Lorraine. I can speak to that. When I first joined the Arts Foundation last year, one of the earliest events I attended was a salon that showcased the Italian composer that Kristen previously mentioned, a gentleman named Armando Guidoni. I love saying that name. It's like music to say his name. And so we kind of brought him in virtually because he couldn't get to the United States for whatever reason, but we had the Ensemble Bella Luce perform in a lovely house in Ridgewood. So it was experiential. It was immersive, much like what we're trying to replicate at the Unitarian Society for our showcase. And it was really up close with wonderful food and music, created an extraordinary environment, played on a Steinway piano. It was wonderful. Our next salon is again going to be located in a house in Ridgewood that has an architectural element that is distinctive, to say the least. We have that all over Ridgewood, but this particular one will be a focus on stained glass. And we're going to bring in an artist, a local artist from Glen Rock, actually, who will speak to the stained glass process while we're in a home that showcases that very, very thing. So we're always trying to find something that will highlight the community, highlight art, and bring people in up close. I think that's really our focus. And, you know, speaking to our other communities, we do collaborate with other arts councils. We are building our connections because we all have similar interests. So we all benefit from learning about what each other does and supporting each other. Arts Council of Glen Rock, they're wonderful supporters of us, and vice versa. Fair Lawn Arts Council, all of it. So we are working towards the same end because we understand the importance of art in everything we do. It's in everything we see, everything we do, and it's where we go when we need an escape, or we want to celebrate, or we want to find comfort. And so we're trying to provide that on a granular level in Ridgewood. So that's our next salon, as I said, coming up in mid-May. We're still working out the details, so stay tuned on that one.
I have a little bit more to say about the salons. So the salons are another facet of what we do, which are separate from the art gallery tours, which Chris mentioned. And the salons have been a part of us right when I joined, which was, oh gosh, I don't know, well before the pandemic. So an example of some salons that we've had are an architecture salon that we had again in a home, and we brought on different architects and we discussed architecture as art. And that was very cool. There were a lot of audience questions on that, which was terrific and very informative. We had the history of ballet with owners of 3 different ballet studios in the area. And again, that was in a beautiful home. You see the through line here. We treat the salons are really like the old-fashioned salons that you think of, where art enthusiasts would invite people into their home and bring in experts in the area of any topic which they were going to discuss. We had floral arranging with a floral arranging expert who happens to be on our board. And then Lorraine had mentioned the Ensemble Bella Luce and the stained glass salon, which will take place in May. So these are very special, up close, intimate events, as Lorraine said, where you really get to delve deeply into some aspect of art and get to speak with experts, you know, right there.
I like that so much. I also want to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Ridgewood Arts Foundation, because I know that you are now getting involved in some public art installations. I am particularly grateful because I am helping to spearhead an initiative to refurbish the pedestrian tunnel, and the Ridgewood Arts Foundation has been the absolute holding tank of all of these ideas, and you have been so gracious and so helpful and so supportive. So listeners, it's super duper exciting what is happening. We are working as a team. We've got a couple of people from the Ridgewood Arts Foundation on our design team, Laura Halada and Larissa Schlatt. They are both terrific additions to this design committee. So like I said, the pedestrian tunnel is going to be refurbished. We are hoping to put some type of a mosaic there, and we are going to have a commemorative component where people can put their name up on the walls inside the pedestrian tunnel. It's going to be colorful. It's going to be well lit. We're getting new lighting in there. And we're also going to do a mural under the train trestle where you drive, where the elevator shaft is. We're going to put a very colorful and bright mural that will just help let people know that Ridgewood appreciates the arts, whether it is visual or performing or what have you. So thank you so much for all of your support in that. I really, really appreciate it. I have another thing that I wanted to mention. I did see that you do internship programs. Who wants to tell me more about that?
Yes, we have an internship program. We actually call it an ambassadorship program. So this is, we ask high school students if they would be interested in coming in and helping us out, and it's also a learning experience for them, obviously. So we have two wonderful ambassadors right now, Anna O'Connor and Tiffany Chang. They come to our meetings. They've helped us with everything from handing out programs at events to helping to plan events, researching things for us, just lending a hand whenever it's needed. And they have just taken everything on, gung ho. They also act as liaisons between the Ridgewood Arts Foundation and the high school. So if we have an event coming up, they will let the heads of the art and music departments at the high school know about them and talk it up among their friends and fellow students. And just one note, both of these wonderful young women are graduating this year. So we need to bring in some more people to help. So we do have an application on our website as well for ambassadors. So anyone, any younger people who are interested should go to our website and fill that out. And we would be happy to have you help us out.
Yeah, I think it's really important for young kids to understand the nuts and bolts of how things get accomplished. And it's also really, I hate to say it, but it's also a great little college application builder too. So anyone who is interested in that, please go to the website, ridgewoodartsfoundation.org, look under the internship tab and apply for that, if you will.
And by the way, guys, I really want to thank you for all the help with the pedestrian tunnel in town, the work you did there. And, for anyone who wants to see why the gears of public works grind slow, I think the pedestrian tunnel is a masterclass on it, of trying to navigate everything of historical societies and New Jersey Transit, municipalities. It's good fun. Speaking of downtown, we wanted to get your input and perspective on the recent events at the Warner Theater. It's obviously been a big talking point for people. If you've been to town for a long time, I'm sure you have a lot of fond memories of the movie theater in downtown Ridgewood. And now we've got it transforming into a performing arts center, and didn't know if you guys had any involvement, if people have been reaching out for your guidance and input, or just your general perspectives on some of the changes going on with regards to that.
Well, this is Lorraine. I can speak to that a bit. We are not involved in any of the changes afoot with the theater, but we support the community and their feeling about the connection to it, because we've all lived here quite a long time, and it really is a highlight. That location was a bit of a flagship in our downtown. It created community and entertainment value. So, we were sad to see it go away, but it's not fully gone. It's apparently being renovated in a way that will return in a different form. I think maybe its original form when it was first created many years ago. But, we support the notion of a performing arts facility. Is that a dream of ours to have one in Ridgewood, a la the Wellmont, I think in Montclair? There's so many great venues, but we don't have our own. And with such a terrific, vibrant community here of artists, it would be extraordinary to have one located centrally downtown. So we can make ourselves available to whoever is interested in art, receiving our input. We can be a voice for the community on some level, but right now we're really not involved. But we would love to dream big and say having a great venue for a variety of events. Could it be new players? Could it be individuals who are performing? Anything. We believe that Ridgewood would be a great location for that. So we'll see what happens. We're excited.
Yeah, we've heard that from some business owners as well, who think that the potential for kind of a new breath of life and a new rationale for people in surrounding communities to kind of come in, check out Ridgewood with live performances. Bookends does just such a good job getting great titles and authors. It'd be interesting to see if those two get some kind of combination. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how that evolves. So thanks for your thoughts and feedback.
Of course, yeah.
All right, you guys, I want to recap this little episode and by saying thank you again, and then reminding our listeners to go to your website, ridgewoodartsfoundation.org, to purchase your tickets for the Honors Showcase, which is April 5th at the Unitarian Society. And so I also want you guys to know, when you are visiting the website, feel free to donate so this incredible organization can continue their excellent work. And so, guys, in closing, Kristen, Lorraine, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners?
Art is for everybody. and it's to be celebrated. It's a great form of expression. It's a wonderful solace. It's a balm to the soul.
And we need to support our artists. We need to give them the tools to do the things that bring us joy and allow us to ask questions, allow us to thrive. And so that's our role. We want to give people the opportunity to have impact on the artists. We do have tiers for our donations, all available on the website, with benefits to those who donate. They're tax deductible. So this is your money is put to good use, but there's also a benefit to you. And that's the way our system works. And we hope that people can see what we do, go to the website, follow us on social media at Ridgewood Arts Foundation on both Instagram and Facebook, see what we do, learn more about us, feel passionate like we do, and donate. Have impact, direct impact on the artists in your community. Make it easier for them to do what they do, to bring you joy, to bring themselves joy. It's all available on our website. We hope you look at it.
And we can do all of that, enjoying cocktails and bites at the showcase on April 5th.
I love the menu, Chris. I can't wait.
That does sound like a really good time. You guys, thank you again so much for taking time to be with us today. And I wish you all the success. And again, I want to say thank you too for your support of the pedestrian tunnel.
Thank you for giving us the update, Jeannie.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jordan, as well.